What's good, everybody? It's your brother, Mad Black, the most dangerous and most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So, it was announced over the weekend that Lynette Hardaway, aka Diamond of Diamond and Silk, has passed away. And anytime I see uh, a black person who's in the spotlight like this pass away, I start to think about what what it truly means to have a legacy and what type of legacy that you're leaving on this planet when you pass away. Because I don't think a lot of black folks think about it. They think about the here and now, whatever they can do to get attention or whatever they can do to get some money. That's all they're thinking about. So they'll kind of do whatever it is they can do, and whatever makes them popular and whatever gets them that attention, they'll just keep on doing it, whether it's right, wrong, or whatever. And people have to assess and maybe take a step back and maybe look in the mirror and think about what they're actually doing and what they think they're accomplishing. You know, I wonder, in her last moments, does she wonder, was she thinking about the legacy that she left behind, or maybe some of the things that she had done that compromised her own integrity and her own image and the image of her people with the nonsense that she did? And because I would say, I could honestly say, I'm sure someone loved her. I'm sure she has a family somewhere, and I feel bad for them if they weren't completely embarrassed by her behavior in the later years of her life. But I'm sure someone loved her, and they knew her outside of the character that she played on social media and in politics. And my condolences to them, but we had to be completely honest about what Diamond was doing with her life. Okay, she meant no earthly good to anyone. She was a modern day minstrel for the conservatives and for the Republican Party. And that's a sad way to go out. Way back when Herman Cain passed away, I felt kind of the same way. Like the fact that you spent your the later part of your life being a clown and a buffoon for these white politicians, and it did you no good. In fact, it did you more harm. Herman Cain literally died in the process of being a buffoon for the conservatives, rather than staying home and staying with his family and trying to stay healthy for his own sake. He went out there to kind of prove a point to these liberals that COVID wasn't real, and germs weren't real, and wound up losing his life doing something incredibly dumb. Okay, so I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Lynette Hardaway. I don't know if they've revealed her cause of death yet. I've heard several different things that might have caused it. I don't want to speculate until there's some concrete evidence as to what caused her to pass away. But I'm just going to concentrate on what she was doing before she died. And, being this loud, stereotypical mammy with her buddy Silk, that was it, it was disgusting to see. Okay. And the fact that, because I talked a little bit about this on my other social media platforms, and I had some white supremacists show up, and I can always tell when it's a white supremacist or when these white bigots, is because they support black people acting like buffoons like this, like Diamond and Silk did. So this white person showed up and said that he had him and his people, the fellow Republicans and conservatives, had lots of respect, and they honored Diamond as a patriot. That's nonsense. Okay, what they enjoyed about Diamond and Silk is that they were a bunch of circus clowns. And that's exactly what they were. They acted as crash test dummies for the conservative side. Now, don't get me wrong here, because this is not a liberal versus conservative argument. I don't give a damn about either one of you. Okay. In fact, I am disgusted by both of you and both sides of the political aisle. I know liberals all the time use black people as crash test dummies for their nonsense. Okay. It's painfully obvious when you see some of these liberal talking heads in media or on social media for the liberal side. It's disgusting what those black people do, but it's just as bad when it comes from you conservatives as well. When you have these black sock puppets, and Diamond and Silk were terrible. Okay, Diamond and Silk was like a modern day version of Amos and Andy or Step and Fetch It. At least Amos and Andy and Step and Fetch It, they were acting. They knew they were acting, and they were getting paid for it. They lived somewhat of a decent life. I don't think Diamond and Silk even made that much money. In fact, I reported on one of my old channels that I think they both got maybe like $600 or something like that for all their clowning and buffooning for Donald Trump. They were acting a damn fool during his first campaign. You know, it was bad enough how they were acting on social media, but once they got on his campaign, they turned the mammy meter up to 11, okay, and were just going completely out of bounds with the stuff that they were doing. It was a straight up minstrel show and disrespectful to the memory of any black person, whether on whatever political side that they want to be on. See what I'm saying? You know, it's bad enough when you have these conservatives these black conservatives working with the Republicans who try to pretend to be like these intellectuals, like either Thomas Sowell or Alan West. You know, they try to pretend that whole intellectual side of conservatism. But when you just have straight up buck dancing minstrels like Diamond and Silk, that's even worse. And once again, it was disrespectful to black people as a whole for them to be up there acting like that. Okay, and of course, like I said, white people love that. They love seeing black people act like that because they don't see black people as intelligent anyway. So when black people get around them and act dumber than they are, or just act like complete buffoons, white people love that and they'll always clap for that. Okay, so that is the legacy left by Lynette Hardaway, aka Diamond. Okay, I'm not trying to disrespect her after she's passed away, and once again, my condolences to her family. But let's be honest about the nonsense that she portrayed. Okay, she did a terrible disservice to black women everywhere with that nonsense she was doing, acting like a complete jackass for these political parties, and they used her up. And now she's passed away, and I don't think her family is going to get anything out of that. All they're going to get is the legacy that their family member acted like a buffoon for these white folks. That's bad. That's a bad way to go, and I don't want to see any black person go out like that. So you folks let me know, excuse me, you folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I very much like to hear your opinions on this. And this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.